As a professional swing trader, what is a day in your life like?
Routine is a really important part of what we do. I'm always checking the futures before I go to bed and when I wake up because I want to kind of see where they've been overnight. It doesn't really tell you exactly where the market's going to go the next day, but it kind of gives you a sense of what the feeling is out there in the world of trading. So the night before, I'm really running through a lot of my charts. I'm looking at charts on a specific program. I use stockcharts.com, and I would say that, that's a great one because it archives all of your notations on every stock that you've ever tracked from the beginning of time. So I can make notations or annotations on a chart. I can put price targets. I can put comments on it. And I've got 300 or 400 stocks that are in our universe that, really are carnivore type of stocks. And so I'll look at those and I'll go back through the stock charts and I'll see whether there's something that looks interesting, like a setup or something. Now, we do have programs, AI programs and pattern recognition types of programs who send us information on that. But I like to look at the charts myself and see if there's something interesting there that those might have missed. And then, I'm always up about an hour before trading starts and before the market opens. I'm scanning the ideas that I had from the night before to see if they're looking good. I'm checking for upcoming earnings announcements to see whether or not there might be a play there, because if one of our stocks that we've done some fundamental research on that we feel is really going to blow away their numbers and the market tone is decent, flat to up, there's an opportunity to make a big boom trade out of something that might be announcing that night. So we're looking for that. I read the news from everywhere that I can that's on decent sites. And just to give you an indication, things like Yahoo Finance, there's so many ads on there and there's so much garbage that, and they have a very left-leaning agenda. They're always trying to gin up the market. And so it's really kind of I look at FinViz, okay? FinViz has a whole news section and it just goes back down over the last 24, 48 hours. I look for relevant news that's there. I do not listen to CNBC. It's a waste of time. Bloomberg is maybe a little bit better, but they have an agenda as well. So there's a lot of garbage there. And so I try to refine what I've taken in. I try to pick out of every 10 or 20 or 30 news items that's out there. I also want to see, of course, if there's any major events taking place, like something from the Fed or some kind of announcement that's going to be from the government that's going to affect the economy. The thing that I am looking at on Yahoo Finance, they are pretty good about having a real-time view up at the top of their screen of what the 10-year bond's doing and what the NASDAQ and the Dow and the S&P are doing in real time. They're also telling you what Bitcoin's doing in real time. They're telling you kind of what some of the foreign stock exchanges are doing. And I'll scan that multiple times a day just to kind of see where things are. When I see the 10-year bond suddenly shoot up in the rate, let's say it goes from 4.08% to 4.20% in one day, but the NASDAQ has not moved yet, I can tell you that the NASDAQ will fall in the next 3 minutes because the NASDAQ will react to the 10-year interest rate. So if you're a super short-term trader, that is just a no-brainer. And of course, it goes the opposite way. Let's say the NASDAQ is flat, it hasn't moved at all, or it's down on the day, and all of a sudden the interest rates go from 420 to 408. The NASDAQ is going to move up fast. Probably in the next 2 to 3 minutes, you'll start to see the move. You'll see the move in the stocks pretty quickly. And so you've got to be right on it. But I can day trade all day long and make money just on watching that. The biggest thing during the day, after you've done all your homework the night before in the morning and you've got your initial trades on, is to monitor the portfolio and do what we do, which is scale into winners and cut losers quickly. So if something's not acting right for a day or two in a row, we're going to cut it. We may cut it back in size or we may cut it entirely. And we may be using that capital that we've just got from the sale of the ones that aren't working to flow into the stocks that have been performing well. And what happens is, the bottom line is you could actually buy 10 stocks and you could have 7 or 8 of them not work and you sell those. But if you have 2 or 3 that are working, and I mean really working, and they're going from 20 to 21 to 22 to 23 to 25 to 27, and they're on a run, and you're deploying more and more of that capital into that stock as it's running up, that's how you get the returns that carnivores get. That's the real story. And that only happens if you're watching the market during the day and you're doing the mechanics of what we've taught you at Carnivore, which is you cut those losers, use that capital to flow it into the ones that are acting the way you want them to. Now, during the day, of course, I'm just consistently scanning the market all day for opportunities that might pop up on a list of anywhere from a short list of maybe 50 to 100 stocks that I'm looking at, and then a longer list I'll be looking. And then I have all of our stocks segmented by sector. And so I'm going to be checking each sector along the way during the day to see how the sectors are performing. I mean, I'll take a break during the day. I'll get some coffee. We'll do something, come back to the desk and do some more scanning. Of course, during the day, Dutch is writing the wrap for you. But really, the rest of the day is kind of monitoring the portfolio